Jimmy Page, a British musician, composer, multi-instrumentalist, and record player, achieved global recognition as the guitarist and creator of the English rock group Led Zeppelin. Page's versatile approach comprises alternate guitar tunings, technical and melodic solos, and aggressive distorted guitar tones, as well as his acoustic work influenced by folk and Eastern music. Additionally, he is recognized for occasionally using a cello bow to create a droning sound pattern while playing his guitar. In the mid-1960s, Page and Big Jim Sullivan were among the most sought-after session guitarists in the United Kingdom. He was born on January 9, 1944 in Heston, Middlesex, England, making him 78 years old at the time of this video's production. Standing at a height of 5 feet 10 inches, Page is acknowledged for his philanthropic work with organizations such as Task Brazil and Action for Brazil's Children's Trust, which led to his appointment as an Officer of the Order of the British Empire, or OBE, in 2005. He has also been awarded other honors and distinctions, including an honorary doctorate from the Berklee College of Music in 2014 and the annual Kennedy Center Honors presented to him by President Barack Obama in December 2012. Page was romantically involved with French model Charlotte Martin from 1970 until the early 1980s, and they had a daughter named Scarlett Page. After that, he tied the knot with model and waitress Patricia Ecker from 1986 to 1995, and they had a son named James Patrick Page. While on the No Quarter Tour, Page met Jimena Gomez Paracha in Brazil, and they had 2 children together, Sophia Jade and Ashen Joseph. Additionally, he adopted her oldest daughter, Jana. However, their marriage ended in divorce in 2008. Since 2014, Page has been in a relationship with Scarlett Sabet, a poet and actress. On January 9, 1944, his mother worked as a doctor's secretary, and his father was a personal manager in a plastic coatings plant. The family relocated to Feltham in 1952, and then to Epsom in Surrey, where Page attended Epsom Country Pound Lane Primary School and Yule County Secondary School. At the age of 12, Jimmy Page started playing the guitar. Though he had a few lessons, he was mostly self-taught and practiced by listening to records and attempting to replicate the chords. While he was 13, Page appeared on the All Your Own Talent Quest program as a member of the Skiffle Quartet. Skiffle was a popular genre of music in England at the time, and their performance was broadcast on BBC One in 1957. At the age of 15, Jimmy Page left school to follow his passion for music. He began his career as a session guitarist at a music studio in London during the 1960s and collaborated with numerous famous British singing groups. In 1965, he was recruited as a producer and A&R man at the newly established Immediate Records label. While working there, he either played or produced tracks for artists like John Mayall, Nico, Chris Farlowe, and Clapton. In 1966, Jimmy Page joined the Yardbirds, a group that had some success but was not widely known. However, his true claim to fame came with the establishment of Led Zeppelin. The band was formed in 1968 from a restructured version of the Yardbirds, then referred to as the New Yardbirds. The lineup consisted of Robert Plant as the vocalist, John Paul Jones as the bassist and keyboardist, John Bonham as the drummer, and of course, Page on guitar. Led Zeppelin is one of the best-selling groups in history and the second best-selling band in the United States. All of their albums made it to the top 10 on the US Billboard album chart, and their album, Led Zeppelin 4, and single Stairway to Heaven are regarded as influential pieces in rock music. Page was a prolific songwriter for Led Zeppelin, which went on to become one of the highest-selling music acts in history, selling over 111 million units. The band has had several reunions, including at the 1985 Live Aid concert, where Phil Collins and Tony Thompson filled in as the drummer. Another notable reunion took place in 2007 at a charity concert at the O2 Arena in London. The demand for tickets to the show was overwhelming, with 20 million requests submitted online. This feat earned the concert the record in the 2009 Guinness World Records for the highest demand for tickets for a single music concert. During the 1970s, Led Zeppelin's popularity reached its peak, and their concerts attracted over 50,000 fans on a good night. In 1973, their performance in Tampa set a new record for rock concert earnings, bringing in an estimated $309,000, which would be equivalent to $1.75 million in today's standards. Making such a significant amount of money for a single show was a testament to their success. Jimmy Page earned a substantial income for his live performances, but when you take into account Led Zeppelin's album sales, the figures become staggering. Led Zeppelin is the fourth best-selling band in album history, with 111 million albums sold, or over 300 million downloads and singles. Every one of Led Zeppelin's 7 studio albums made to the top 10, and the 8th post-breakup compilation album did as well. This explains why Led Zeppelin remains one of the most influential rock bands ever. Jimmy's net worth is estimated to be around $180 million. While he was still a part of the Yardbirds in 1967, Jimmy Page obtained Tim's Boathouse in Pangbourne, Berkshire, where he lived until 1973. It was at the boathouse in the summer of 1968 where Page and Robert Plant met for the first time and eventually formed Led Zeppelin. Page bought the Tower House in 1972 from Richard Harris. It was the London dwelling of William Burgess. According to Page, he has had an interest in the pre-Raphaelite movement and the architecture of Burgess since he was a teenager. Burgess is known for his extravagant designs and his role in the 19th century Gothic revival in architecture. From 1980 to 2004, Page owned the former residence of actor Michael Caine on Mill House Mill Lane in Windsor, which was designed by Burgess. Unfortunately, it was at this residence that John Bonham, a member of Led Zeppelin, passed away in 1980. During the 1970s to the 90s, Jimmy Page owned Boleskin House, the former mansion of Aleister Crowley. Portions of the fantasy sequence in The Song Remains the Same were filmed at night on the mountainside just below the Boleskin House. Additionally, Page owned Pumpton Place in Sussex, which was previously owned by Edward Hudson, the publisher of Country Life magazine, and was designed by Edwin Lutyens. In the Led Zeppelin film The Song Remains the Same, Page is depicted playing a hurdy-gurdy while sitting on the front yard. Jimmy Page's current residence is Denery, located in Sonning, Berkshire. This residence was initially built by Edwin Lutyens for Edward Hudson. His garage contains a variety of cars, including an A10 Phaeton Cord, a Ferrari GTB 275, a Ferrari 400 GT, and a Bristol 401. Are you a Jimmy Page fan? Which Led Zeppelin song is your favorite? Share your thoughts below. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, click the like button, turn on notifications, and subscribe to Luxury Realm for more videos like this one.